everybody, welcome back to Epic Beauty Fail. I'm Jessica. On today's video, we're doing day 5 of November's 5 Days of Foundation. And today, I am trying out the ColourPop No Filter Foundation. I have used this in a video before. I did it in a first impression full face of all ColourPop products, but I did not wear it for more than just that video. I took it off as soon as the video was done because this shade is just a little bit too light for me. This is in the shade Fair 20. So what I did is I actually put some out on my little palette here, and I added my NYX Pro Foundation mixer in the shade Warm. So there is a warmth one, and then there is a lightener, so a darkener and a lightener. So I did mix it in here. I put about 4 little drops of the NYX Foundation mixer, and I think 5 or 6 pumps of the ColourPop foundation. I'm hoping that this is enough to do my whole face. We will see here in a minute. But before we get started, I do have the Too Faced Hangover RX 3-in-1 spray on, and then I put my Tatcha the Silk Canvas primer on as well. That's all I have on my face right now. We're going to go ahead and go to the ColourPop website, and I'm going to read you a little bit about this foundation. They do have several colors. They have a very good shade range here, and I do know that some people really like this foundation. I can't remember having a very positive impression of it the first time I tried it, but again, I only used it for one video. So this retails for $12, and let's go ahead and read what the website says. It's the No Filter Natural Matte Foundation. Developed for the selfie age, our buildable full coverage natural matte foundation delivers flawless looking skin from day to night. The oil-free lightweight formula blends smoothly and is easily customizable to create the coverage you want. Build it up or sheer it out, it was developed with innovative soft blurring pigments to deliver true color while looking and feeling natural. The lockable pump is easy to use and keeps your routine mess-free. As always, 100% cruelty-free and vegan. And there's 0.85 fluid ounces in this bottle. So, all right, I'm going to be using my Sigma F80 Flat Top Kabuki on the right side of my face, and I'm going to be using my Beauty Blender on my left side of my face. So I'm starting to think that maybe I didn't get enough out, and I don't know that this shade is going to work either. So maybe. All right, that looks actually like a pretty good shade match with how much warmth I added to that mix. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on with the brush, and I'll be back in 1 second. Alright, so there it is on half of my face. I'm going to go ahead in with the Beauty Blender on the left side of my face. So far, I think I did okay shade-wise. Like I said, I just did a couple of drops of the Pro Foundation mixer. I probably could go down a shade in this, or maybe even 2 shades, because it seems like their shade range is pretty broad. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead in with the Beauty Sponge. This is actually a Beauty Blender on this side. Alright, so I do still have a little bit of foundation on my little palette here. Not a lot, but maybe about a half of a pump. The sponge definitely took more foundation, soaked up more foundation, but I'm getting a little bit of a different finish. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but I'm definitely more matte on the brush side and more luminous on the sponge side. Just looking at it in the mirror here. And I'm trying to look at the finishes, like other than the fact that the brush side is more matte and the sponge side is more luminous, the finishes look about the same. I did have some problems with the sponge where it was actually taking the foundation back up after it was down. So I was able to balance that out and not have it be a problem. But I don't think the color's too bad. It's still a hair light. I probably could have put a little bit more of that mixer in to bring it down just a hair more, but it's not horrible. It doesn't look horrible, at least in this lighting. But I am about just a hair light. So, okay, the time now is 9:23. It's probably going to be about 9:30 by the time I get my face makeup on. So we'll call 9:30 the check-in time. And that would put us at 5:30 for the end of the day and 1:30 for midday check-in. So I'm going to go ahead and see. All right, this is definitely transferring, so I'm going to definitely use a powder. I might actually dig out my ColourPop powder. I have their translucent powder as well, so I'm going to go ahead and dig that out, I think, and use their powder. But I'm going to definitely powder this just because, like I said, it is transferring right now. And do the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back. All right, everybody, I am back. It is 9:56. I think that's going to focus. There we go, 9:56. It took me about a half an hour to do my makeup. Not entirely because I got a phone call that I was on and whatever. Anyway, 9:30 is going to be our check-in time. I did finish my face at 9:30. I have the ColourPop No Filter Sheer Pressed Powder in Fair. I've only used this once. This is the second time I'm using it, and somehow I ended up getting a hard pan. I'm not quite sure how that happened. You can see it right there. I think it's going to focus. There it goes. I'm not quite sure how that happened for me to get hard pan on that, but I don't know. I've only used it once, and I didn't use a wet sponge. I used a brush. I always use a brush when I do powder, so I don't know. Anyway, I put the powder on. I also have the Butter Bronzer in Bronzer from Physicians Formula. From Laura Geller, this is the Tropic Hues Blush, Baked Blush and Brighten in Tropic Hues. And then I'm using the Sleek Makeup Highlighter Palette. I'm using the 3 powders, which is the pink, the peach, and then the cream colored one there, as my highlight today. And then I have the Milani eyeshadow primer on, the Doll 10 Illegal Eyes mascara. I'm using the ColourPop All I See Is Magic palette. I'm not sure if this was limited edition. It might have been, but this is the first time I'm actually using it. I bought it earlier this year, and it's the first time I'm using it. I'm using the cream color here. I think they have shades Treat Yourself, All Over the Lid. Oh no, I'm sorry, not the Treat Yourself. I have Top Knot, Go Wish. I don't know. This one right here, I can never tell the difference between what the names are on the back and the names on the front. So I'm using this all over the lid. I have this in the crease. I have a little bit of this in the outer corner. I have this shade here, which is absolutely beautiful on the outer portion of the eye, and then this shade on the inner portion of the eye, and then this along my lower lash line. I think that, oh, and then this shade right here on my inner corner. I think that's everything. Yes. And then on my lips, I'm using the ColourPop What's Your Sign Cream Lipstick on my lips. I think that's everything. Oh, let me spray my face down with the Too Faced Hangover RX. Okay. So, I'm having a couple of problems with this. I'm going to zoom you in and we can talk about it. So, this foundation is getting into every single line that it possibly can. It's already settled into the line on my forehead. I'm having some problems here around my mouth. I mean, I'm almost 40 years old. I'm literally within a stone's throw of 40. So, it's just starting to really get in to every line. And it's just settling in the line, you know? And then I can usually pat it out. I was doing that on my under eyes. I had it settling into the lines on my under eyes down in here, which I was able to pat out. It was really bad in this line here on the side of my mouth, and I did pat that out. When it's not in my lines, it's actually looking pretty good. So like on my cheeks, I think it's looking pretty good. Even on my nose, I think it's looking pretty good. But it's just where I have lines that is a problem. So maybe this is a foundation that's only made for younger skin. I'm not sure. I've seen several reviews about this foundation. Some people really like it. Some people don't. Tati, I watched Glam Life Guru Tati. I know she did not like this foundation. but it's not looking bad in the areas that I don't have lines. Like I said, on my cheeks here, along my lip, it's looking pretty creasy. I don't know. So, all right, that's where we're at 9:56, or I guess it's closer to 10 o'clock right now. That's where we're at 10 o'clock. I will check in again at 1:30 and then again at 5:30 tonight. So, wish me luck. I hope this foundation holds up all right. The color looks a lot better than it did the last time I wore it in that one video a couple months ago. But for now, let's just hope it doesn't get too much deeper into my lines as the day goes on. So, I will see you guys in a couple hours. All right, everybody, it is midday. I'm a little bit early, 1:23, so I'm a couple minutes early for my midday check-in, but I figured I'd go ahead and do it now. I had a moment to come outside and do a check-in. So it's actually kind of nice weather-wise this week. It's actually really nice outside. I'm going to enjoy it while I can because 2 days from now it's supposed to drop 30 degrees and be freezing for the next week. So not freezing, but in the 50s, which is kind of cold, but it's October weather, so, you know. Anyhow, let's talk about the foundation. I'm going to step into the Super Sun area right here and show you my skin in direct sunlight. And then I'm going to step back into the shadow a little bit just so that I can see because I can't see in this much sun. So, all right. So, I have my little mirror here, and I'm going to be looking at this. I did already just look at it a couple minutes ago. A couple areas of concern are around my mouth. It seems like anywhere that I emote, my skin is, or the foundation is sort of broken up, like right here on my lip. It's just broken up a little bit on my face. However, I'll say my cheeks look good and my nose looks good. My forehead, you know, you still got that line there. But my chin and around my mouth, not so much. So I think at least right now what I'm thinking at midway through the day is that this probably is not the best foundation for somebody who's a little bit older, just because, like I said, my skin isn't as elastic as someone who's 20 years younger than me. So right now, midday through the day, I think it looks okay at arm's length. The closer that you get to my face, the less good it looks. But it's not bad right now. So, all right, I'm gonna check in at about 5:30 and we'll see how it works for the rest of the day. All right, everybody, it is 5:46, so I'm a little bit late, not too late, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and talk about this foundation. There's definitely, I'm having some problems. I know not everybody has problems, but I'm having some problems with this. So I'm not sure how well the camera will pick it up, but down here along my chin, like pretty much this whole section of my face, it's just broken up. All along here, it's just really broken up. All along my chin, around my mouth. Around my nose, it's kind of caked in there. Not the worst I've ever had, but not great either. It's definitely in there. I don't feel like my forehead's gotten any worse. It's definitely in that line, but I don't feel like it's gotten worse. Other than those couple of problem areas, I think it still looks really good on my cheeks. I think it looks good on my nose. My nose is a little shiny, but that's not the foundation's fault. I think it does claim to mattify, but I haven't found that this is really mattifying for me. What does it say anything? I don't know. But it definitely hasn't fully mattified for me. Like I said, my nose is a little bit shiny. My forehead's a tiny bit shiny, and my cheeks are a little bit shiny as well. But we're 8 hours in, so that's to be expected. Overall, not my favorite foundation. Like I said, mostly just because it's really broken up on my chin here. Like really, especially in here. It's really broken up. And it's not bad. Like even my mirrors right here, and it's maybe 2 feet away from me. I don't think it looks bad from 2 feet away, but it's the closer that you get. I that you start to see problems with this foundation, at least on my skin. I think I've said it before, I become very animated when I speak, when I talk, when I interact with people. I'm very animated. So my face is moving around constantly when I'm going about my day. And you know, some foundations just can't handle that. Do I think this looks horrible 8 hours in? No, but I don't think it looks great either. And I've come across a lot of great foundations. So overall, it's not a bad foundation. I will continue to wear it throughout the month of November. I will say this, it feels a little bit heavy on my skin at this point. I feel like I really want to get it off of my face. And again, that might just be because my oils are coming through and starting to weigh it down a little bit. But it's not bad. It's just not great. So I know that's not very definitive. I mean, it's $12. You know, if you're making a ColourPop order and you want to give it a try, go ahead, especially if you can find a shade that works for you. Part of my problem is that my shade's too light, so I did have to darken it up a little bit, but that wasn't horrible. That mixer, that was actually, today's the first time I've ever used that mixer, and it's worked actually pretty well, so I'm very pleased with the way that worked out. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up down below. If you haven't already and you would like to be, please hit that red subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the little bell to notify you when I do upload new videos. And if you have any comments, leave those in the comment section down below. Have you tried the ColourPop No Filter Foundation, and what are your thoughts on this foundation? I'm going to continue to try it throughout the month of November, and I'll let you know my thoughts at the end of the month. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this round of 5 days of foundation, and I'll see you on the next Epic Beauty Fail. Bye!